Hey, this is Andrew Brown from Exam Pro, and we are looking at Kubernetes security best practices. And I got these from Aqua Security. So it's just a summary of what Aqua has on one of their websites. And if you don't know Aqua Security, they are a really well-known security company that has products and services. And so the recommendations here is enable Kubernetes role-based access controls, because as soon as they're enabled, that means that all users by default do not have access, and then you have to give them permission, and that's a great idea. Use third-party authentication for API server. So authentication could be Okta, maybe Cognito, any kind of decentralized authentication system, Azure Active Directory. Again, I don't know how those would integrate, but using a third-party authentication is just generally a good idea. Protect etcd with TLS, firewall, and encryption. So that sounds like a good idea. I thought TLS was just on by default, so I'm not exactly sure about that, but I mean, it sounds like a good suggestion. It did come up when we were talking about infrastructure security in the cloud layer of security and infrastructure security. So isolate Kubernetes nodes. So maybe nodes. So yeah, I mean, if you want to isolate workloads, that's using namespaces, but I suppose isolating nodes is a different story. Monitor network traffic to limit communication. So maybe that's installing a service mesh, like holding on to Kubernetes logs. I'm not sure there, but I mean, monitoring is always a good idea. Use process whitelisting. So if you have a machine, like a Linux machine, and it's running particular processes, only allow certain processes and everything else should be denied. Turn on audit logging. Sounds like a good idea. Audit logging, the idea is that if you have logs, make sure that no one is tampering with your logs. Keep Kubernetes versions up to date. With managed Kubernetes providers, a lot of them will do that for you. So that's one advantage of using something like Google Cloud's Google Kubernetes engine. And we have lockdown kubelet. So, some of this advice we saw in the layers section, but it's generally good advice here. I just wanted to share it again.